This evening, President Granger courts British businessman. GPSU to proceed with elections. Minister of Social Protection raises sexual assault awareness. In the region, Moody's Investors Service downgrades Trinidad and Tobago's debt rating. And internationally, North Korea celebrates Army Day amidst rising tensions with the U.S.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
President David Granger said that Guyana, for long-term development, has the most exciting investment prospects in the Caribbean, and added that the country holds an enviable and strategic position as the link between the South American continent, the Caribbean region, and the rest of the world. The president's remarks, which were made at an investment seminar organized by the Caribbean Council in London on Tuesday. Andrew Weeks reports.
According to a release from the Ministry of the Presidency, the meeting with British investors was supported by Mr. Gail Holzman, President and Chief Executive Officer of Echo Atlantic Oil and Gas, which has a stake in the oil and gas exploration in Guyana. Holzman said, quote, "With everything combined together under the management of the President and his administration, I think the next 2 to 5 to 10 years will be very transformational. And again, from my personal perspective, this is probably the best investment destination in the world at the moment," end quote. President Granger and Mr. Holzman were part of a panel which included Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Carl Greenwich, British High Commissioner to Guyana, Mr. Craig Quinn, and Mr. Andy Thorne, Group Chairman of the Kestrel Group, which is involved in shipping industries in Guyana. The session was facilitated by British Member of Parliament Lord Bruce, and in the audience were business executives from infrastructure, port development, oil and gas, tourism, and hospitality and shipping, who are already operating in the Caribbean and Guyana or are interested in doing so, along with members of the diplomatic community. The Guyanese head of state sold Guyana as an exciting investment destination with several advantages and opportunities. Mr. Granger said, quote, "We have the land, we have the intelligent English-speaking population, we have the resources, and I think people who are looking for something different, something unique, will come to Guyana. I am not suggesting that you leave the Belize or Antigua or Barbados, but I am suggesting for long-term development, Guyana is the best prospect for investment," unquote. President Granger painted a picture of Guyana's potential and the Green State Development Policy, which would see it taking advantage of its ecotourism product, preserving its environment, pursuing green energy development while taking advantage of coming oil and gas revenues to accomplish these goals, declaring that even as the country transitions, it has to walk on 2 legs, unquote. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. GPSU elections slated for tomorrow after injunction was discharged. Here's more. Yesterday, the Guyana Public Service Union was given permission to proceed with their elections for office bearers for the Executive Council. This after 2 members of the GPSU successfully filed an injunction against the union. Recently, the annual vote has come under scrutiny and protest from members of the union. In a press conference last month, the Executive Council merely shrugged off protests, calling for the GPSU president's removal as a few younger misguided members and persons aiming to embarrass the union.
This protest is carried out by 3 groups of people. The first group I called a few misguided members. Misguided and misgoverned because some of them misguided because of the some of the true nature of what's happening. And some of them were disgruntled. Then we have those who refuse to pay the right amount of fees.
The protesting members are dissatisfied with the leadership of GPSU President Patrick Yard. Patrick Yard has been the president of the Guyana Public Service Union since 1987. One of the protesters, Jermaine Hermanstein, explained that they are of the view that Yard is, quote, too comfortable in his seat as president. The protesters claim there has been minimal representation of public servants under Yard's leadership. Also, they complained about being discriminated against by the union despite paying their dues.
Creating a distraction, a camouflage, and a small fee to bring attention to themselves.
Seeing as the president is chosen by a democratic election, it is quite unusual for one to retain such an office for over 30 years. While various segments of society have questioned Yard's legacy and the length of his ongoing term, the Executive Council sees nothing wrong with it and viewed his still being in office as a testament to the quality of his leadership. With this in mind, the council officially pledged their support of Patrick Yard in the upcoming elections. This was a move that prompted protesters to take action. With this in mind, the council officially pledged their support of Patrick Yard in the upcoming elections. This was a move that prompted protesters to take legal action.
You talk about taking the support if you don't have a thing. Here, take the support. Take the support. We have all our evidence there that everything we're doing are your time.
Then, on the 20th of April, Justice Nareshwar Harnanan granted an injunction to block the elections, originally slated for the 24th of this month. GPSU member Gregory Gaspard made allegations of the GPSU's non-compliance with the union's rules and its obligations under the Trade Union Act. Yesterday, the union's attorney-at-law, Roysdale Ford, provided documentation refuting Gaspard's claims. The information provided convinced Justice Harnanan to discharge the injunction on Tuesday. The GPSU subsequently released a press statement declaring their intentions to hold elections this Thursday, as well as to disparage Gaspard. Since Executive Council members serve a 4-year term, tomorrow will answer the question that has been on the mind of many trade unionists. Is the GPSU ready for a fresh face? Or does Patrick Yard have what it takes to take the union to 2020 and beyond? Don't go away. Coming up on Headline News after the break, change up in the GPF's leadership, and Ministry of Social Protection tackles sex crimes during Sexual Assault Awareness Week.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
It's always fresh, tasty, enticing, and the best in town, served hot from our experienced chefs. Come and enjoy our daily meals with a wide and delicious menu to choose from. Also a wide variety of pastries and dessert. We can also host your luncheons, cocktails, parties, and formal gathering. For reservation, call 225-1730, 225-0038, and delivery 225-0195 or 225-0159. The new thriving Chinese restaurant, 32 Main Street, Georgetown.
Let's get it on! Total U Plus is introducing the bridal collection. We sell bridal gowns with over 150 styles to choose from, including bridal gowns for Muslim brides. We also sell bride and bridesmaid gloves, tiaras, petals, flower girl baskets, bridal pins, just married signs for vehicles, guest books and pens, aisle runners, veils, table placement holders, garters. Yes, the complete collection. Come see our bridal display in store. Total U Plus Bridal Collection, Froggity's Mall, booth number 16. Let's get it on.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride taxi service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Please be advised that on Tuesday, April 25th, 2017, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Griffith proceeded on pre-retirement leave. As a consequence, Commander of A Division, Assistant Commissioner Clifton Hicken, assumed the post of Assistant Commissioner of Operations. Further, Commander of C Division, Assistant Commissioner Marlon Chapman, is now in command of A Division, whilst his deputy, Senior Superintendent Kevin Adonis, takes over the helm of C Division. This, according to a press release by the Guyana Police Force. The Ministry of Social Protection is determined to stamp out sexual assault. Andrew Weeks reports.
Minister Ali, in her address to the nation to start the Sexual Assault Awareness Week, says each person can play an important role in the fight to prevent and end sexual assault.
Sexual assault has tremendous costs to communities and our nation as a whole. If left unaddressed, these human rights violations pose serious consequences for current and future generations.
Minister Ali went on to state that sexual assault undermines the health, dignity, security, and autonomy of its victims.
Victims of sexual assault can suffer sexual and reproductive health consequences, including forced and unwanted pregnancies, unsafe abortions, sexually transmitted infections, including HIV, and even death. We will continue to engage civil society and the private sector in preventing and ending violence against women and girls, working with survivors to empower them.
Minister Ali says that the observance of Sexual Awareness Week should be seen as a call to action for everyone. Although the subject of sexual assault is a difficult subject for many people to talk about, this observance is a means of raising awareness so that people not only begin to think about the implications, but they can start doing something about it as well. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. The Office of the Leader of the Opposition informed the media of two motions submitted by the PPPC parliamentary opposition as private members' business for debate at the May 8, 2017 seating of the National Assembly. These motions are as follows. Number 1, a motion calling for the revocation of value-added tax on education. And Motion 2, one calling for the revocation of the Commission of Inquiry on Lands. These motions were submitted yesterday, April 25, 2017, to the Clerk of the National Assembly to be included on the order paper for the next sitting, which is the Opposition's Day. Don't go away. Still ahead, we have our regional and international news.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride taxi service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5554. 5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Now opened, the new thriving Chinese restaurant Providence location. Perfect for large events, exquisite menus featuring traditional Korean, Chinese and Western cuisine, elegant grand dining room and seats for over 500 persons. Also additional seating on the upper flat, luxurious VIP rooms and an elevator for your comfort. The new thriving Chinese restaurant second location above Massey Supermarket, Amazonian Mall, Providence. For reservation call 623-4097 or 657-9067.
In news from the region now, in Trinidad and Tobago, Moody's Investors Service has now downgraded Trinidad and Tobago's issuer and senior unsecured debt ratings to BA1 from Baa3 and assigned a stable outlook. Here's more.
Moody's Investors Service has now downgraded Trinidad and Tobago's issuer and senior unsecured debt ratings to BA1 from Baa3 and assigned a stable outlook. This was revealed on Tuesday. According to the report, the authority's policies response has been insufficient to effectively offset the impact of low energy prices on government revenues, as fiscal consolidation efforts have mostly relied on one-off revenue measures. The downgrade was also attributed to a steady rise in debt ratios driven by large government deficits, which has eroded strength in the fiscal. Moody's said declining production from maturing oil and gas fields, coupled with limited investment prospects in a context of low energy prices, have materially undermined medium-term growth prospects. The stable outlook to a BA1 rating incorporates moderate external risks as well as the benefits of the government's sizable fiscal buffers in offsetting further downsized risks and ample access to a relatively deep domestic financial market. Last week, Standard & Poor's also downgraded Trinidad and Tobago.
And internationally, the North Korean military conducted long-range artillery drills as the country celebrated the 85th anniversary of the founding of its army. CNN's Will Ripley gets a rare look into Army Day.
Army Day in North Korea, the 85th anniversary of the Korean People's Army. More than 1 million active duty soldiers, more than 6 million if you count reserves and paramilitary, one of the largest standing armies in the world. We almost never see this side of North Korea's men and women in uniform.
This is a public holiday here in North Korea, which means citizens are enjoying a rare day off. And as you often see on days like this, lots of dancing in the streets.
Carefully choreographed display of national pride. North Korea calls it single-hearted unity. Outsiders say these men and women have no other choice. As Pyongyang residents dance, a very different kind of demonstration on North Korea's east coast. The nation's supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, showing force with what South Korea calls a large-scale artillery drill, less than 2 weeks after this massive military parade and a failed missile launch. Analysts say these new North Korean missiles could someday carry nuclear warheads to the mainland U.S.
Our nation faces serious...
A growing arsenal President Trump called a grave threat to the world. He's pushing the UN Security Council to punish North Korea for developing weapons of mass destruction that violate UN resolutions. In its own show of force, the U.S. deployed a nuclear submarine to South Korea, as the U.S., South Korea, and Japan conducted joint naval drills Monday. All this as the USS Carl Vinson moves closer to the waters off the Korean peninsula. The approaching U.S. warships conjure memories for this North Korean veteran. Senior Lieutenant Colonel Un Young-il speaks to me in front of the USS Pueblo, a U.S. Navy spy ship North Korea captured in 1968. The Pueblo reminds me of another boat traveling very near the Korean waters, he says, the Carl Vinson aircraft carrier. We are not afraid. Just like we captured the Pueblo, we can sink that aircraft carrier. It's a threat made by North Korean state media, prompting the Pentagon to warn Pyongyang to stop provoking the U.S. Are North Koreans worried that you may be headed towards war with the United States? It's a grave situation, he says, but we're ready to counter the American threat with an all-out war and nuclear attack. In this militarized nation, even civilians are told they may someday have to pick up arms. Even on days of celebration, citizens say war with the U.S. is always looming on the horizon. Will Ripley, CNN, Pyongyang, North Korea.
And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and SafeTVGuyana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and Thursday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.